The 2017 Delta Delta Chapter Brotherhood Dinner was held on April 12th. The highlight of the dinner was the presentation of the Order of Constantine to Greg Harbaugh, class of 1978. Each year, Sigma Chi recognizes a small group of alumni brothers for their commitment, dedication, and service to the fraternity. Induction into the Order of Constantine is considered to be the highest honor that the Sigma Chi fraternity bestows on one of its members. In 2017, Greg Harbaugh became the 9th Purdue Sigma Chi to be inducted into the Order of Constantine since the Order's inception at the 47th Grand Chapter in 1948.
But tonight we have a real opportunity here to recognize a brother who has made a contribution to not only to our fraternity but to our nation as well. The Order of Constantine recognizes a group of Sigma Chi brothers for their commitment, dedication, and service to the fraternity. Induction into the Order of Constantine is the highest and most select honor it can bestow on a person. Most of us have followed Greg's career and adventures for many years when he was part of NASA's Space Shuttle program. Many of us have attended one of his launches and then had the opportunity to hear firsthand later about the accounts of the spacewalks and the other stories that really came from outer space. Greg spent 818 hours in space, 3 spacewalks, 2 of which we worked on the Hubble telescope. He was head of the spacewalk program for NASA for 4 years. His contributions to America's space program, Greg was recognized as a significant SIG in 1991. Following Greg's 23 years with NASA, he spent 5 years as director and COO for the Florida Air Museum before answering the call to lead Sigma Chi's foundation as president and CEO in 2006. Greg commented at the time, "I was enthused at the possibility of having a positive impact on the lives of some 15,000 young men across North America. There are very few places that teach leadership skills, and Sigma Chi has the potential to give profound impact in that arena. In addition, Delta Delta has always been near and dear to my heart. It was a place of inspiration and elevation in my aspirations as an undergrad, so this was also a way to give back to my home chapter." 10 years later, Greg retired from this highly visible role within our fraternity. During Greg's tenure, the Foundation's assets and programming it supports grew to record levels. Greg noted, "We set the expectation 10 years ago that we would seek to address all the relevant issues our young brothers face on campus, and to give them the instruction and tools to effectively deal with it. I'm extremely pleased to state that we succeeded at an unprecedented level." Under Greg's direction, the Foundation's scholarships increased tenfold from $50,000 a year to $500,000 a year. Programs funded by the Foundation expanded from a limited BLTW and 2 weeks of Horizons to 5 weeks of Horizons and a reconstituted BLTW that nearly doubled in size, as well as the addition of programs to address alcohol and drug abuse, depression and suicide, hazing, and sexual misconduct and rape. The Foundation's financial reserves increased 6-fold from $2.5 million in the bank to almost $15 million, thus positioning the Foundation and fraternity for a sustainable future. Greg, I'd like you to come up, please. Brother Harbaugh, for making such a significant difference in the lives of so many Sigma Chi brothers, we present you with our fraternity's highest honor, the Order of Constantine. Congratulations. his remarks, we have a number of people who like to have a chance to speak about their involvement with Greg. But at this time, we do have a special guest here. It's Ashley Woods, current president and chief executive officer of the foundation. And Ashley, I'd like to have you come up and start with a few remarks about working with Greg.
Brothers, it's an honor to be here with you tonight. Really, first and foremost, to celebrate Greg Harbaugh and all of what he has done for Sigma Chi. I'm not a Delta Sig, but I've had the joy of getting to know many through the years and seeing this chapter be such a successful part of Sigma Chi and a great place developing future leaders. But I will tell you, I started working with Greg about 11 years ago now, and we served together at Sigma Chi Foundation for 10. And he had perhaps the foresight to recognize a young man right out of law school who didn't know much about the world but loved Sigma Chi, wanted to help how he could, and gave me the privilege of working at his side for 10 years. And I'll tell you, he started in a position of the fraternity really needing to do a lot in terms of taking advantage of the opportunities that existed out there and evolving Sigma Chi to where it really could be. And Greg became an instrumental thought leader at the international level of Sigma Chi and really went well beyond offering ideas and suggestions, rolled his sleeves up and built a first-rate Sigma Chi Foundation. And each of you should be very proud of what he was able to accomplish. I certainly am. The last thing I would offer, because I know there are a lot of people who want to talk, is I had the opportunity over 10 years to see the character of a man who was beyond reproach and who represented his values in everything he did, everything he did. And those values are Sigma Chi values. And I know they existed in him before he came here to Delta as undergrad, but certainly they were cultivated here. And for that, you should be very proud, and I'm very humbled to have served.
Carol, we don't want to put you on the spot, but we'd love to have you come up here and tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly.
I too am not a Delta Sig. But I can say that I played many a ping pong game. Before Greg and I met, I was at Theta, and many of my Sigma Chi friends are in this room. And Greg and I met through Sigma Chi because I knew a lot of Sigma Chi's, and I was down interviewing for jobs in Houston, and we met at a Purdue event at the Blue Bonnet Bowl in 1979 when Purdue was playing Tennessee. We met at Gillies. Yeah. Larry, you were there. So we met through Sigma Chi, and I know how much Sigma Chi has meant to Greg all these years. We've been married for 35 years. We've gone through many career changes. Greg's gone from being an engineer to an astronaut to running a aviation convention to Sigma Chi Foundation, and now he's going to be a master grape grower in retirement. I run a career gamut too as well, from engineer to barista to mom to minister. The point of all that is, what makes a man? You know, what makes a successful person? So we celebrate all of these great things that we accomplish in our lives, all the things that we can point to, the money we make or the ways we make things bigger or whatever. But in the end, it's your relationships, right? It's your relationships. So I'm talking to everybody, but mostly to the young men here, because I think Greg Harbaugh is a really good example of a man who, through all of his accomplishments in life, has also been very focused on his family and the people who really mean something to him. So from writing letters to his young daughters the night before he launches on a space shuttle, not knowing if he's going to come back, and just making sure that they have some piece of him, to today, Greg watches some of the most god-awful TV shows because they're the shows that his daughters watch. And they're grown women, but it's a way for him to stay engaged with them. So we have a lot of fun family shows where we're connected, where many dads would just blow all that off because it's not, their thing. But he engages with his family in really profound ways, and that's just a very sweet way. So just think about it. What is a man? Who are you? And at the end of your life, I don't want to be morbid, although as a minister that's part of my business too. But at the end of your life, who's going to surround you? Is it going to be all of the people who you work with? Is it going to be all the people who you accomplish great things with? Or is it going to be the people who love you? I can say to my husband, Greg Harbaugh will be surrounded by people who love him because he's been an amazing husband, he's been an amazing father, and a good friend, and we have many more travels together.
All you can do with it. JB, thanks for your Oh. Where do I begin? I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be here to share this moment with you. For those of you that have come from some distance to be here with me, and for my sweetheart to have joined me on this incredible ride. It has been something, and I guess if you'll bear with me, I'd like to share some of my thoughts, I've been places, I've done things, I've seen things, I've felt things, and I think maybe the best service that I can offer you is to share a little bit of that with you. And so let me start sort of where it began, which is right here. Delta didn't know that I existed. And so in the last week, as it turned out, a rush, I walked in the front door. I was not rushed. I introduced myself to a couple seniors. JT, it might have been, I don't know if it was you, but it was a couple seniors sitting in the balcony. And these guys looked me right in the eye and shook my hand and made me feel welcome, even though I had no business being there other than I was a freshman and I was inquiring about Sigma Chi. My brother-in-law was sick. I ended up getting the last bit, and thanks to really the efforts of Steve Blickenstaff, I think more than anything. I kind of slept here and ate here and lived here for the few remaining days and ended up getting the last bit and became part of that pledge class. And roughly 3 years later, I was given the high honor of being elected consul of the chapter, which I've said many times is one of the highest honors I've ever been given. In no small part because of the caliber of the men who walk through these doors. And I'll circle back to this, but as a point I really want to drive home. This is a special place. And I came here unprepared for sort of the expansive nature, if you will, of my own aspirations. And the men here, starting with the seniors when I was a freshman, helped me sort of get my arms around what might be possible for me.
and at the same time help me understand what true high expectations were, and what was reasonable, and what was gentlemanly, what was chivalrous. I came from, as Larry said, east side of Cleveland, Ohio. Very little good comes out of the east side of Cleveland, Ohio, Larry and I notwithstanding. And there is a place of low aspirations. And I came to Purdue and was delighted to find people that were equally, if not more, interested in achievement and academic excellence and pursuit of everything that life might offer. And so being here, being in this house, and going to this school really helped sort of craft what I felt like was mine to do going forward. Men come through here and they go to Harvard Business School and they run, they make, run multi-billion-dollar companies. They get into, property development work, and they start up companies out in California and do amazing things. I mean, everywhere you turn, they go on to be doctors. They go, fly fighters. They serve our country in a variety of ways. It's just in the wood grain here. It's in the drinking water that this is a place where you come and you pass through and you pay proper homage to the privilege that you enjoy to be here. And you pay that back by serving in a way that is demonstrating your own personal excellence for the rest of your life. I mean, that's the way I felt. I remember being consul and ruminating on that one day and just writing a little note that ended up in the Delta data I couldn't lay my hands on. But basically, the gist of my note was, I realized what a privilege it is to be here, to be a brother here, and to be consul here, and I'm forever grateful for that. Something else I'll share with you about the experience and how this nourished me is when I got into the astronaut program in 1987, I again went to a place where there were incredibly high expectations. And as odd as it may sound, I felt like I belonged from the moment I walked into those doors too. I felt like I had earned that place, as I felt like I had earned my time and my tenure here by serving here, by cleaning these floors, as so many of us did over so many years, by being servants to our brothers in whatever way we could. So in a very real, tangible way, the opportunity for me to accomplish and be a contributing crew member and to achieve during my astronaut years, 23 years, a major flaw when it was put out into space, and it was up to us to upgrade it and make sure that it could see into the depths of the universe with the clarity that it needed to. And I remember watching those guys, after the airlock was depressurized, they opened the outer hatch and they went out into the payload bay. And I thought to myself, the hair on the back of my neck stood up, and I thought, I'd done one EVA before, which was kind of a rush, and it was, it wasn't a lot of time to pay attention, but I thought to myself, holy shit, here we go, tomorrow that's me. And there's no getting out of this. And that's part of, to me, what I felt like was important, was the idea of being committed. That, from the moment you climb aboard, you're committed. And there's no saying, hey, I don't feel good today. You guys go do the spacewalk without me. It doesn't work that way. And so knowing that I was going out into the vacuum tomorrow, and that there was so much that was challenging about this particular spacewalk, and mating some connectors that were about this big with these big inflated gloved hands that you could barely feel anything through and all that. It was a profound sense of privilege and commitment, and I'm not going to let the team down. So I came away from all of those experiences, 34 days, 818 hours, 18 hours and 29 minutes of spacewalk. After I'd flown my last mission, I took my daughters to see Pocahontas. And I knew that I had done my last mission. I knew that I had finished. I knew that I had served my country to the best of my ability. I was worn out, and it was time for fresh legs to fly. Even though I had the opportunity to go to Moscow and train and fly on the Soyuz and all that, I knew that enough was enough. And I really, we went to the movie Pocahontas, as I say, and I really choked up because I was just overwhelmed with gratitude for what I'd been through over those years, knowing that I had fought the good fight. So, let me offer a couple observations about, well, I share a couple moments about what I saw when I was up there. In the first orbit of my first mission, as we climbed up to apogee, we launched at night and we came over the Middle East at dawn. And this was April of 1991. It was not long after Saddam Hussein had invaded Kuwait and America had gone in and taken it back, but the oil fires in Kuwait were still burning. And you could see, my job was to get out of my seat, be the first one out to take pictures of the external tank as we climbed in orbit and separated away from the tank. And I looked out the windows, out the overhead windows looking down at the Earth, if you can wrap your brain around that. And I saw the tank in the foreground and the fires in the background. And it occurred to me what a profound impact one human being, in this case, a not good human being, Saddam Hussein, can have on our planet. So what did I take away from? If I could maybe share a couple observations about what it is that I think might be useful to you. One of the big takeaways for me was that I gave myself the opportunity to find out who I was. Because I really didn't know that. I didn't know that here. When you're here in college, you're bulletproof, you're Superman, you can do anything. And so over the course of my professional career, one of the gifts that I believe that I've given myself is an understanding of who I am and who I am not. I'm not a great high G pilot, but I'm a pretty good zero G guy. I can do things in space and do them pretty effectively. So especially to the undergrads, take advantage of the opportunity to learn who you are and to test yourself. I think that is powerful and valuable. I'm going to just end with a couple things. One is I would encourage you, especially you who are kind of early on the trajectory here, early in your lives, to recognize that we are each captains of our own ship. We are ships in a very big and very deep ocean. And each of us leaves a wake behind us. And that wake is our interactions, it's our relationships. And one thing that has taken me longer in my life than I'd like to acknowledge is that, as pointed out with this example with the pledge class behind me, you don't always understand, the reverberations of your good intentioned acts. So act with care, act with love and forgiveness and humility. The great leaders that I've known in my life are some of the most humble people that I've ever known. And finally, let me just offer this. as I said, where Larry and I came from, you know, there were a lot of guys that kind of fell under the weight of low expectations. I know many people that did not achieve what they were capable of achieving because they were afraid of their own greatness, is another way to say it. And for whatever reason, that was the opportunity for me to step into what it was that was mine to do is something that has given me joy and nourished me. And again, I owe that to the grounding I got here, to the start I got here. So I can't tell you how honored I am to receive this recognition, how honored I am that you all took the time and went to the effort to come and be with me and Carol today, how grateful I am for all the great good that I've derived from Delta Delta. And I don't know what lies ahead for me, but I'm certainly open to what the universe might provide. So thanks again for the chance to be with you.